Everybody, welcome back into the channel, man. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. Hit that like button if you do. Let's get into it. So, today, game 2. We got the Celtics and Heat. We're still in Miami. So, they've got Miami as just a 1-point favorite, actually. You know, that's pretty tight. You know, if I was a betting person, I wouldn't really mess up with it. Looks like ESPN has their matchup predictor at the Heat, 73.6% chance to win. This coming off of a game where, you know, Boston kind of had control of the game early. Jason Tatum was going crazy early. And, you know, things just started falling apart in the second half. It was another miserable third quarter for the Celtics. And, you know, if you've been following them in the playoffs, they've been struggling in third quarters. Jason Tatum, 21 points in the first half. And he pretty much laid an egg in the second half. He laid a big egg. So I expect Jason Tatum to play better. You know, even though he finished the game with 29 points, you know, his points weren't conducive to winning. In the second half, they kind of threw more bodies on him. They were more physical. You saw him not really able to move freely around on the court off the ball. They had guys denying him, and you know, they went from like boxing one. They did everything, man. The Heat and Eric Spoelstra, they're gonna come with a defensive game plan. So you're gonna have to have Al Horford again come through for you. Marcus Smart supposedly is supposed to play. Al Horford supposedly supposed to play tonight. Derek White, however, is out, and he's at the birth of his child. So you know that's understandable. Big game, but that's understandable. I wouldn't miss it. So there's been a big thing, you know, I guess with Jimmy Butler, people are talking about how he's a great scorer, but after he, you know, puts up a big game, like a 40-point game in the playoffs, he comes back the next game with a dud or, you know, with an average game, an average performance. And I don't know if that's going to be the case this year. The Celtics don't really, I don't know if they have a guy that can like Jimmy Butler is so crafty. I don't think Jimmy Butler will have problems scoring when his mindset is towards scoring. I think sometimes he takes a different approach towards the game and he feeds off his teammates. I think he's a good player, you know, to be a teammate with, because if you're hot, you don't have to worry about Jimmy Butler still jacking up 25 or 30 shots if you're the one hot. For the Heat, they still have Kyle Lowry out. Kyle Lowry's still out. And I honestly don't know if he's going to make it back this series. I don't know if Kyle Lowry's going to make it back this series. So the hamstring is weird, man, because once it goes, it's like it's nothing that you can directly do to just get you back on the court. You know what I mean? You absolutely need your hamstrings to be healthy to play this sport. They have Oladipo in his place. He's running a lot of the one. You want to keep Tyler Hero off the ball because that's where a lot of the magic happens for him. A lot of the off-ball actions, the staggers, and you know, like all the different cuts he does. They run a lot of their offense to get Tyler Hero into these gaps for these open shots. So I don't expect Victor Oladipo to play as bad as he did that last game either. So it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be interesting. We'll see if the Celtics go down 2-0 to the Heat, bro. It might be over. I'm not doubting Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown as far as their talent is concerned, but where is Robert Williams III? I thought he came back for a game. So Robert Williams III is going to play. He's good to go. That's what it looks like anyway. I don't see anything. They have Sam Hauser and Derek White on the injury list. I don't see anything about Robert Williams III being hurt. I don't want to hear anything about him being hurt. So if he's back, that's a big difference, bro. He is a threat. He's a lob threat. You know, he's defensively, he's a blocking machine. He's a big body. He's a willing and able defender. He doesn't get in the way. A small ego guy, makes exciting plays for the team and for the fans. So if they get Robert Williams III back, man, this should be a good series. This should be a 6 or 7 gamer. Should be a 6 or 7 game series at the end of it all. I don't want to say who I think is going to win the series yet. I'm leaning towards the Celtics, honestly. And if the Celtics win tonight, I have them winning the series. That, to me, if they steal a game in Miami tonight, I think that that opens it up for me. Yeah, but last series, I talked a lot about this Jason Tatum thing, and you know, to me, him confirming his status as a superstar in the league. But I have to, just on the drive home from this trip I went on today, I'm sitting here thinking like, man, this guy took out KD and Kyrie. Then he turned around the next week, got Giannis up out of there. You know what I'm saying? And now he's having to deal with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo and these guys. If he does this, bro, if Jason Tatum makes it to the finals, he's arrived. I'm gonna just say it like that. If he makes it to the finals, he has arrived. I expect the Celtics to come through tonight and pick up the win. They're only 1 point underdogs. That's not a huge mountain to climb. Looks like the money line is at 115, minus 115 for the Heat, minus 105 for the Celtics. So not a lot of money to be made there unless you're gonna put a lot of money into it. But yeah, this is 8:30. We're about an hour away from this game starting, y'all, and I really want to see, like when KD and Westbrook were, in their prime, and they were young like Tatum and Jaylen Brown. We saw some games, a lot of games where both of them put up 40 or 35. Both of them put up 30. Both of them had, big numbers, and they can both decided everything goes through us tonight. I want to continue to see that from Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, because so far it's looking like Jason Tatum, if Jaylen Brown ends up asking for a lot of money, it feels like Jason Tatum could do this with any side star, any star role player. Jason Tatum could do this with. Jaylen Brown's a great player to have, but I think, if he ends up asking for more money, he's got to be putting up 30. Jaylen Brown's going to ask for a lot of money eventually, man. And I think that to keep those guys together, the Celtics are going to have to see it work out right now. You know what I mean? They're going to have to see it work out right now. And there's really no excuses. The Heat are missing their starting point guard. So if you mess around and get swept or gentlemen swept to a team that's missing their starting point guard, something ain't right. And I will say this. The Celtics are battle tested. I think they're more battle tested this year, like this postseason, than the Heat. Those sludge matches they had with the Nets, and that series they had with Giannis, and Giannis is throwing his weight around and banging guys up and crashing into people. That takes a toll on you, and you can kind of tell game one, those guys got to get their bodies back up. So we'll see. Tonight's going to be the telltale. If the Celtics can't mess with the Heat, we're going to know tonight. I'm just going to say the Celtics are going to win by 4 points. I'll put it at 4. Could be even closer than that, honestly. This is these two teams are a pretty good matchup. This is good old Eastern Conference basketball, man. And you got to love it. You want to see as many healthy players on the court as possible, especially, like the superstar types, the guys who, bring the crowd to the stands. You want to see those guys on the court able to play, and that's good. Good Marcus Smart's here, good Al Horford's here, good. No excuses for you guys. Y'all have been doing this for a long time, trying to get over this particular hump, and here it is. Jimmy Butler is not gonna lay down. Jimmy Butler and Bam, they're not gonna lay down. So, you're gonna have to go take it from them. They're hungry because they feel like they were just there, which they were. 2020, it was just a season ago. The season before last year's champions, they were in the finals. That's a coveted position for a franchise, and they want to get back there. So they have, both sides have their motivation. I know Jason Tatum has all the motivation in the world, bro. I don't want to see no long faces. I don't want to see that you only put up 5 or 6 shots in the second half, bro. It's time to go get it and to die on your sword, bro. Like the late great Kobe Bryant used to do. Michael Jordan used to do it. Allen Iverson did it. They died on their sword, man. And you knew even when they lost, even when they shot bad, like, they tried. It wasn't there tonight. Jordan go 9 for 33. Like, okay, I mean, he didn't have it. He tried. He 33 times, only succeeded 9. It's not like dude only put up 3 shots in the second half, though. You don't have to worry about that. So we'll see. Celtics for the win by 4 points. I'm not a Celtics fan, but I think that's what's going to happen. think they're gonna split these games, and then I think they're gonna split the next 2 games. I think this is going 6 or 7. I really feel 7, but we'll see if Jason Tatum brings it. If you're gonna have 21 in the first half, you got to follow it up with a solid 15 in the second half. There's a certain amount you need to end up with if you're putting up 21 points in the first half and the game is still close. That's not a normal thing. So we'll check on y'all later after the game. Hopefully it's tied 1-1. Let's prolong these playoffs as long as possible, because once the playoffs goes off, it's nothing but summer baseball, because hockey's going to be, it's going to be nothing on TV. It's going to be no sports going on until, college football starts up in August, and then, NFL starts up in September. Well, so we got a little something coming out of pipeline, but not much. Free agency is always, intriguing, but it's not like watching actual sports. So just wanting to get the most out of these playoffs, and hopefully we get some superstar performances tonight. That would be great. Yeah, that would be great. So holla back, y'all. Hit that subscribe button. Like me up. Show some love. Appreciate everybody who's already a part of the squad, man. And we'll holla at y'all. Peace
This a conversation I'ma have with you, 'cause there'll be days you'll tread